able to deny with walls, but also just taken out. So Lumine is guaranteed to be in this one now.
Wondering what they think ORCA is going to bring out. ORCA is very good at supporting snipers, flyers, really squishies. They're going to be more isolated. Pinaka is better at dedicated resources to one person. Lumine best at multiple people. So ANUBYSS are sensing something in the air.
I love the fact that you think it's Pinaka too. That shield Pinaka has can combine with what a Welkin does or anybody. If you throw up your shield, and there is time to cap the point. So Pinaka out is kind of also just a cap-focused ban here. There's going to be a lot of mayhem, and this makes me think we're going to get a kill-focused Eye of Mizra. There will be focus on the keys, but it will be more wiping out your opponent, increasing those death timers, and being able to walk the key home because of it.
Yeah, the elusiveness is the one that is standing out to me, having those multiple lives and really just being a fly. But remember, once you have the key, you need to fully eliminate the striker, which includes the de-armored elusiveness. So I'm wondering who's going to be the key transporter for ORCA, if it's going to be the elusiveness or the Lumine, because Lumine can be squishy at times and you can lock them down.
Just off to the side, you will see the storm coming in. This will basically make Lumine's life very, very difficult. Inside, you can kind of get away from it. So if that tends to happen, a little saving grace for them, a little respite. Let's go. Into the map.
Yeah, I'm excited. ORCA also have 7 players. Keep in mind, is one of the few teams that actually are incorporating a substitute. So Axel stepping in is not part of the main core roster, and he actually coaches. And they, from what I heard from the scrims, ORCA were very happy with his performance. Keep in mind, though, Elusiveness, no flyers necessarily from the ORCA side, and ANUBYSS running a Falcon.
Already fights to the... Oh, what a slam down from the Welkin. Beautiful start here on Eye of Mizra as the fights continue. See, moving forward, Steel is going to be on that elusiveness, just trying to catch over and over any of that air control.
Oh, Steel Haze, a nice slam down, but down on Fluid Armor, has no energy, is going to need some backup, and is trying to ping this Tricera down to half health. This Super Dope's got friends, he's got also escapability, and there's people escaping, and Steel Haze has never given up, wants to finish off Rehis, and that's first blood for ORCA.
Wildly impressive right now from ORCA on this start. They are just raining hell down on the side of ANUBYSS, and it looks like they're lost a bit for their initial kills.
And the first key is going to be spawning very shortly. We can always rack up a couple of points. Remember, 1 kill equals 1 point. It's going to take some time to get up to that 100. NDB, though, is going to be helped by Happiness having some sniper utility. And there's already a key almost picked up before the shot denies Kinshinma.
Perfect timing on that. The fight's about to head inside, but how much, though? We see the mini-map. Everybody's starting to converge now as they come in. The Inferno lasers everywhere, and there's no Welkin to stop the energy damage.
But ANUBYSS operating a Falcon, they have one of the fastest strikers in the game, and to deny that key capture is huge from ORCA, and there's so much disruption. Who's going to get the first kills? ORCA already down at half health, ANUBYSS missing Fluid Armor. The range damage from ORCA is very solid, but the Lumine heals from Charlotte on ORCA is what's keeping them healthy and steady.
Reese trying to reset here, doing just his name. MDB a kill on that Inferno, able to keep the power coming. And it looks like they are getting this A spot, but Kinshinma's doing his damnedest to stop it from happening.
And they're ignoring Kinshinma a lot and killing everything around it. Kinshinma's waiting for the window to grab the key and fly away, and A is spawned, and C's going to be coming up soon. And ORCA was able to get some early kills, but you need to fully wipe ANUBYSS if you want to hope to not be interrupted while picking up the key.
It's not impossible, but it is rare to see the second key spawn before the first one is capped here, so you can see just how neck and neck these two teams are, but they're going to have to separate their forces soon if they choose to go for C.
A double kill from ANUBYSS. ORCA had such a strong start in this fight that seemed to never end, but ANUBYSS have taken over, and it's become an avalanche as ORCA will be forced to retreat and maybe guard the doorways to try and stop the key carrier, or they can also use the strategy of dumping damage into the objective to deny that. That will interrupt the key to be grabbed.
MDOB doing what he can. 3v1 Inferno inside A alone, requesting help from the team, and he's still alive somehow, denying this key. A does get captured up. We can see it in Minima running now, and it's just going to be shifting for the Lumine, and an absolute capture here to start catapulting for ANUBYSS.
Wow, so fast with the mobility too that Lumine is able to provide to itself and everyone around. The rest of ANUBYSS will assist the key to be fully uploaded. 5 points per tick, 15 total for the upload, and it's ANUBYSS with a lead, but ORCA follows up with the kills, and that could be a window where the C key is already up. ORCA could try to tie.
Oh my gosh, the Akila just absolutely focusing down Charlotte, and that you could see trying to put the heal gas out around the point so the team could survive. The storm's going to be rolling in, and there goes the targeting. A bit of chip damage always on the fluid armor, and it is chaos, Lemon.
Such an unfortunate time for this pulse storm to hit because there's no lock-ons. You can't tell who's a friendly or who's an enemy, and it's going to drain your health slowly but surely. It ignores that armor, and ORCA had those kills on ANUBYSS, but then the pulse storm hits, and it's not really a time that you want to grab the key at.
Hits, damage. Who are they trying to focus? They see, look at the Inferno is just sitting in the sky now. This almost just helps them so much. Another grab from Minima, the Lumine. I'm calling MVP right now, 2 caps. 60 upload is going to be incredible for the squad, and B is spawning with the storm still up. They can start to head there.
Yeah, this key could be dropped, but yeah, ANUBYSS, that Lumine was below half health with no fluid armor, and ORCA were trying to deny it, but 64 and climbing for ANUBYSS. And ORCA, they had the kills, they had some good denials, some interceptions, but as soon as ANUBYSS give that key to the Lumine, ORCA will be in the dust.
Oh, Reset is just looking at MDB all the time. Look at, he's trying a 45-degree angle up fight all the time, but continuously knocked back and having to consider what's also on the ground. Looking for the key cap, and at least this form doesn't happen, and it cannot go through for the side of ORCA as they're still scrambling. 71-5.
Man, ORCA just can't escape once their health gets low. When they're not playing their lives, they're not surviving long enough, and ORCA think they can sneak away a key, and maybe you can just outrace ANUBYSS, but they're always on your tail. ORCA have got no objective done. Any points they've had have come from kills in the early game alone, and Kenshinma has been unleashed.
Oh my God, just absolutely sticking to MDB's Inferno in that situation, in and out of flight form, keeping the energy and keeping the pressure coming. Amazing play on the Falcon.
And now the setup of the Ultra Heavies around the next objective. All ANUBYSS really need to do is deny for the next 6 minutes, but of course they're going to hand this to the Lumine, and of course ANUBYSS are going to bury ORCA 6 feet under. And look, ANUBYSS are already set up for A.
Just Minima chilling, about to cash in on the A key as B still gets fought for. This is what we talked about, splitting your forces thin and being able to get to the right spot, but they do get someone there in time.
And you'll see in the upper HUD whether someone has a key or not during all the chaos. Sometimes when multiple keys are spawning, it's hard to keep up, but A has been spawned and ORCA's there to disrupt, and the happiness can't live any longer. The key's about to get grabbed from Kenshinma, and if ORCA don't stop this, this is going to be soon to be the end of the map.
Kenshinma now going to make it over. Easy stuff.
Still needs to be fully uploaded though. A few more seconds left, and ORCA need to fully eliminate that striker. But the backup from ANUBYSS is too strong, and the Eye of Mizra, 1 kill away. We're at 99. You gotta finish your food. There's so many keys too from ANUBYSS playing keep away, and the stare down. This is their battlefield.
I don't think he looked at the monitor. He was just like that the whole time, from the beginning to the end.
That's me on Tricera.
Just doing it.
I don't need to look. I don't need to look at my
monitor. Don't even have to look. What a map there. I love the way the ORCA started. They had great fight technique, but I think once we saw the respawns come in on that side of ANUBYSS, they reset, sat back, and understood exactly what they need to do, and it just seemed like there was always 1, 2, and even 3 people down respawning for the side of ORCA.
just the mobility was what's the strongest for me. Looking at ANUBYSS, having the Falcon and the Lumine as key carriers are the two options, especially when there's multiple keys spawning. ANUBYSS were able to play keep away at the B that was in the middle of the map to then picking their moment, and the Lumine was just unreachable for ORCA once they had picked up that key. And ORCA decided to go for an Elyseness over maybe another flyer, even I don't even know if they ran a flyer at all. So it felt like just speed-wise, ORCA couldn't keep up.
Right, even with the Elyseness versus Lumine, if Minima did get hit by that, by Happy, you're just going to get out of that situation, or Steel rather, you're going to get out of that situation, you're going to get yourself to safety. So I love the fact that they picked that. We saw now the reason why they are banning out Welkin on one side so they can get some caps, but you ban out Panaka on the other side and you don't have the shields you were thinking about to get the caps in the first place.
At least ORCA will get to pick our next map, and they do know their strengths, and it's not going to be about going after a weak map for ANUBYSS. I don't think there is such a thing as a weak map for ANUBYSS. It's about ORCA finishing out strong if they can push it to a map 3. They seem to be confident that they'd be able to go to their best map and push ANUBYSS to the edge, but will that actually happen? We will see, because that was still a very one-sided Eye of Misra.
Yeah, I know Luna Break is watching this match like, okay, this is what they do? All right, because it might be Luna Break versus ANUBYSS after this one, but ORCA, like we said, still have a chance, and they still have the prowess to be able to bring us to a map 3. I fully believe it if they can get under the skin here of the Japanese team on the second map.
And to mention the rules, because I guess ORCA are one of the few teams that actually have a substitute that are playing with the substitute. You can change players in and out between games, which could be a consideration if you have like a specialist on your roster or someone who's like an Aquila one trig. I don't know, but
I'll be right back.
We gotta get in there. Let's get in there. This Welkin guy will come bring you guys some victories.
And then they ban me. I'm like, okay, I'm back to cast.
Okay, get back here.
I got banned almost every time. Yeah, I need to put something else in my striker pool considering that. So yeah, looking at what the second map can be, we had Palm Bay Harbor for ANUBYSS at one point yesterday. Cape Blanc Observatory and Graceland Cities played between these two teams. So looking at really what happens here, I would say Graceland might be the best bet, seeing the initial fight from ORCA that we got there on Eye of Misra.
Yeah, because a bleed turns into a hemorrhage on a map like that. If you can start with the first blood and push your 6v5 advantage, things can really tumble over. And I felt like ORCA had strong advantages early, but weren't able to keep up the survivability and sort of the long fights when things really broke down in the chaos. So if ORCA goes to Graceland Sky City, they have to have a strong start.
Minima with almost 1 million repair, while also being on objective control. That is wild. So really doing the work before Minima needed to leave and get some objectives, putting those heal drones on and saying, all right, I'm going to go off and do my own thing. You guys keep fighting. Really interesting stuff to see there. Happiness on the other side, able to pull up the top play for ORCA. But we'll have to see your MVP. I am going to go with Minima.
Yeah, I would give it to the Lumine easily, just for all the key grabs. It's a thankless job and one that left everybody in the dust. Yeah, you were right. Minima, Lumine, we put our brains together. We came up with this 60 upload.
60 upload, along with 15 assists. So you, like I said, it was kind of turning your team, drone. If you have to gas heal around one of the objectives, you can. And we also saw a very different play between how it was damage and non-damage for our Lumines. So we are seeing vast differences between the players in just that one striker.
He is so swifty. And what makes the difference between a casual and a professional Mecha Break player is, faces like this, I guess, but also maximizing your abilities. Man, we got some personalities here.
They're just moving the sliders on the pilot faces right now as we're watching these guys. So good. He's ready. Let's go.
Let's go.
Initiate.
Fighting.
Striker, go.
That was like his impression of him flying on Lumine, maybe.
Yeah.
To go and bring the key over.
Flying forward, I like it. Steel Haze with a great start here. Reset. I think we saw MDB staring up at Reset almost the entire game. If it wasn't Lumine and Shinima getting the caps, it might have been this guy with the MVP, because he kept an eye on the battlefield the whole time, and Reset was able to do just that to ORCA quite a few times.
Yeah, I think ORCA need to definitely operate around the Falcon if possible. I know it's going to be a tough task to go up against Kishinma, but just an uncontested flyer, one that was as mobile as him, and especially with the Lumine mobility boost, was something that it was hard to watch because the Anubys were just that fast. Also depends on the game type coming up. We could have Graceland Sky City where flyers are going to be just as important, but we've seen looks from Lunar Break where all melees could just be as viable.
Let's do it. Get the Tricera out of there and we go brawl. Please and thank you. You hear the teams, or we see the teams rather, chatting it up, figuring out what they want to do next. Like Lemon said, they have a period of time before they, when they can submit a sub if they want. It does not look like we will get any changes going in here. Just the map pick of what ORCA will want to fight on next.
Yeah, and that puts, speaking of happiness, who was the guy and maybe also the emotion on the scene, despite being down 0-1, he is to be the one that snipes the Falcon out of the sky and is the one that's going to be chased down by Kishinma. And on Crab Sinkhole, good luck to the snipers, good luck to the flyers.
Yeah, we don't get to see it often, more towards the end of the day yesterday, and it is one that requires extreme communication and control over where your team is. We kind of consider if you do have a 3 cap, it's not always necessary once you got a few hundred points. 2 cap is strongest. You don't have to divide your forces, and you absolutely garrison those 2 points to save your life. Falcon out. There goes a bit of air priority.
Smart ban from ORCA. Kishinma was a demon. we need to exercise that demon. So as a retaliation, you got Lumines, you know, pretty standard, but the Panther from Supadopa, we've been seeing a lot of that on Graceland Sky City to displace people on the top of the tower, to skirmish inside of the building on round 1. I love to see that.
Aquila's in the air, and actually just for the side of ORCA here. Actually, I looked at that twice. I thought that was an Aquila, but it's a Leasness band out here, so we'll see if ORCA can keep Happiness healthy and just that, happy in the air. Without the Falcon there, they're very, very likely to do quite a bit of damage.
Pretty stacked team. Will ANUBYSS take the Swift 2-0 to be our second Japanese team to go into the semi-finals? ORCA are trying to deny that. They were confident they could force it. This is their map pick. They came in with their game plan, and to deny the Falcon is a good starting point. But ANUBYSS took care of the Aleseness, which was utilized by ORCA last round, so it's going to force ORCA to adapt.
On to Karab Sinkhole. A, B, and C captured straight up and down the gut of the map. You have a chance to go around the outside and create flank positions, and can also, as you see, fall down into the depths for a fight almost underwater if you're running out of energy and stuck in that area for a bit. A lot of different positions to mobilize and set up on this map as we get into Karab Sinkhole. ORCA versus ANUBYSS in Game 2.
Yeah, ORCA, North America's strongest hope until we get to see Empyrean and how they've turned around their day. I'm looking forward to seeing if North America can stand up to Japan or if it's going to be up to China to take down a team like ANUBYSS. Let's kick things off. Series point for ANUBYSS.
Look how fast that Welkin is. Take note. All right, we're going to set up on A. It's halfway up. This is the first point, and B and C will not open for a while, so this is going to get all the love to start. Box is high, Inferno's even higher here to start doing the damage, and you can see instant decel to the ground as the damage is just too much.
It's important to note that ORCA are operating around an Aquila, no snipers for ANUBYSS.
Yes.
It's going to be up to that Panther, the melee, the up close and personal, a big strong hug from ANUBYSS if they can gap close. It's up to that Lumine to provide that mobility. ANUBYSS setting up base in the middle as ORCA start to surround. The kills are pretty even on both sides.
2 points now ticking up for that 1 point. 6 for 2, 10 for all 3 as it is a brawl. Welkin in a bad spot now. He's trying to get his form. The fluid armor will come back if he gets a breather. Energy's there, and here comes the armor.
Oh, to take that second to wait for the heals, it's still better than the, what, the 20, 25 second kill respawn timer.
Ooh.
But man, Kishinma now goes uncontested in the sky. He's good at dodging some of the shots that go his way. Rehai's just, well, a janitor on duty with no one really isolated, but he's going to make this territory untouchable for ORCA.
I need to see Aquila shooting the Kishinma out of the air on that Inferno real soon. Welkin, Howitzer just absolutely firing cannons off, doing upwards of 10,000 with just that right click. And we got a box battle going on here as it's broken out quickly. Yeah. Kills coming in, though, for ANUBYSS.
And we have B and C that just spawned. And ORCA are setting up over at C, but maybe are prioritizing that middle fight first. ANUBYSS have already started to disperse to the perimeters, and no one's really captured yet until ANUBYSS have claimed C. And this is already a 100-3 lead. ORCA have not captured anything yet.
Great movement by Charlotte to deny the Welkin getting in. They may be able to take him out, too. Zhuhai's in a bad spot, but this is a lot of focus over here on B from ORCA, so you can see ANUBYSS with the 2 cap, very happy with this situation.
If ORCA are not careful, it's going to be a triple cap, and we saw a lot of this yesterday from the most dominant teams. That is how you suffocate and drown a team. But NDB, huge kills on the Inferno, as ANUBYSS will have to take a step back playing 5v6. It's still a skirmish for point B. ORCA are set up, trying to close the door on ANUBYSS from entering in. The Stego is set up. Yeah. They're going to have to force a Siren to move, and NDB is doing just that.
Chasing. Yeah, we haven't seen too much of the Stego throughout the matches, but so much power delivered there as they're just denying the points. Finally, B is captured, but 244, 250 to 10 is going to be where the comeback tries to begin for ORCA.
Yeah, and I'm wondering how much time this Aquila from Happiness is able to set up and just poke down shots on ANUBYSS, but with how just crazy the ANUBYSS Flyers are, I'm not sure ORCA are really going to have a second to breathe. At least ORCA were able to claim B. It took some time to do it, but all that time gifted over ANUBYSS 300 points. So ORCA have to catch up.
Everybody's fighting over the point right now. You can actually see how hard it is for Zhuhai to find a focal point of a target. Both ORCA and ANUBYSS are splitting this fight very well right now, and it is going to be ANUBYSS that loses one for another 20 seconds. It might be a slight opening for more for ORCA.
And that was from Happiness, the sniper, the eye in the sky. ORCA need more of those picks, and it's going to have to come down to that focus fire. ORCA, though, are losing health. The Welkin skirmishing up close at quarter HP. ANUBYSS can't get the finishing power as they just dance around the pillars and use the smoke as cover, and now spinning around their Tricera. Zhuhai's protecting their Ultra Heavies, and ORCA can't get more kills than the one pick that Happiness provided.
Oh, they're so close to killing Reset right now, and a few other Siren just down to low HP. Can MDB finish? But they go into the Stego Haze, unseeable, untraceable for a moment, and it helps them to live. You see the hits coming through, but nobody's finalized just yet, and ORCA actually lose one in this fight. Still, the 2 cap for ANUBYSS, pushing them up 6 points at a time.
ORCA are not getting wiped, though. They may lose a one,
That's
maybe
true.
2 people, but this is still contested. But it doesn't matter who's alive if you don't have points. This has been a 2-to-1 capture for ANUBYSS for most of this map. There's 7 minutes left, but ANUBYSS are halfway to taking the series.
Oh my gosh. Kishinma just heals and seems like they're never touched whenever we're looking at them. Wild for the freedom that this Inferno is grabbing so high on the elevation point of A. And this fight looks like it's going to go towards the outside here. It might start to move in favor of ORCA if they can take down enough members of ANUBYSS.
ORCA not having a flyer means they probably can't split up and try to wrap around, maybe even sneak cap C, because ORCA are playing as a team around the Lumine, but they're not winning the fight. Where is plan B? What is the solution for ORCA? I think at this point, have they just given up? ANUBYSS are just tearing them apart.
Supadopa is making John Welkin's life a living hell right now. The Panther almost inside the box. A little bit of a stagger there as they parry off of the shield, but it is the chase. You can see just how much ANUBYSS is sticking to every fight and being so relentless.
Oh, Siren showing us how it's done on some of these snipers. Zhuhai's boxing in half health. He does not care. And NDB tries to laser him down. And ANUBYSS just stares as we got just social distancing live. John Welkin versus Supadopa, who's a Superman on the field. 200 points away from ANUBYSS in the semifinal.
He's a bully. He's bullying him. Get out of there, John Welkin. It's not okay. Oh, no. Gets hit again. Like I said, sticking on them. And this becomes so annoying because your energy is for you. You're not pushing that in front of the Inferno. It's not helping your team. The play is being dictated right now by Supadopa of what John Welkin can do.
And Happiness is now getting pressured, so this Aquila won't be able to stand still and provide that supportive fire. And a lot of those picks have come from that Aquila from ORCA. But ORCA the picks are just not enough. They're not able to drown ANUBYSS. The heals from ANUBYSS have been just different. The Lumine, and also ANUBYSS commanding the middle of the map.
Yeah.
ORCA have put all their eggs into this middle of the map war, and they're not winning it.
I think with the Aquila being so strong in previous matches, it is still a correct pick, but seeing the Inferno closer to A, closer to the position of fight, and just unleashing so much more consistent damage is really throwing ORCA for a loop and trying to stay healthy and want to reset these fights. Oh, John Welkin, a sliver. It's not going to come through. Saved by the bell, but not so much as ANUBYSS takes map 2.
So you see that? You see that, ANUBYSS?
See that?
Just the
I
stare
haven't
down.
even moved.
Our cameraman was ready. Congratulations to ANUBYSS, moving on with a flawless victory at that, and ORCA blinded by the lights and blinded by just the aerial superiority. And even ANUBYSS showing us many looks, including the Panther on this, and dominating the middle of the map, which, I mean, ORCA could not figure out how to get around.
They couldn't. I think as well with the Aquila over at B, it was always sitting there just making sure it didn't get capped, but you're -1. And in a game against ANUBYSS, you almost need to be +1 because it seems like they have more people doing more things all the time. It is just 6 pilots and 6 strikers, making it look like a masterclass, though.
And ANUBYSS showing us that banning that elusiveness against ORCA was such a crutch. Like, there wasn't a lot of...
Super smart.
Yeah, ORCA not using a Sky Raider or some other mobile option. I don't know how deep their strategy book is, but depending on snipers to get all the picks just wasn't enough. And on a map like Crop Sinkhole, you need kind of to separate yourself away from the fight and go for objectives by yourself. And I don't think ORCA were confident enough to go for the solo plays, but I know one confident team, and it's here. It's ANUBYSS. It's Japan's #1 Mecha Break team.
The one everyone wants to play. Maybe not after the fact, but the experience you get from playing them and the understanding of what they can do is huge. And we have a lot of teams like that as the upper bracket continues. Remember, ORCA is not out. They moved to the lower bracket there, so they are still competing in the tournament for North America's #1 team. And the rest of them as well. Empyrean's still here.
Yeah.
Team Liquid and DSG. So they still have a chance to fire at these top squads who are going to probably be the ones looking to lift the trophy, but you never know. We still have a few days to go, and there's a lot of gameplay to figure out between then. Meta's changed.
We are not even close to the end of the day, but I just want to point out, I hope you guys come back tomorrow because we have Luna Break versus ANUBYSS. I told you guys this was going to happen. This is going to be so insane.
Like the early, possibly
#1 versus #2 of Japan. The best region and Mecha Break are going to face off in our first semifinal match, and that's, I think, going to be just the appetizer to what could be the end of the tournament.
It is. It is. In ANUBYSS, you see how they played today. The focus on the fact that I think they knew ORCA wanted a little bit of that air superiority because they banned Falcon, they pick Aquila, but on the other side, it was, like you said, elusiveness. So they're happy to run an Inferno that's going to fly in the air. The air superiority starts to become very different throughout these, and we didn't see a Naru. Sometimes we see that on Karab too. With the Falcon out, that becomes a little bit more effective, not being able to be radared out. So really, I think ANUBYSS has a lot of avenues that they haven't shown us yet that makes them so powerful.
Yeah, ORCA definitely got hit by those bans, but we'll see if China will be able to hit back. They're on the bottom side of at least the upper bracket. We have EVA versus CSTG coming up as top teams from China, and Celestial Being versus DSG, possibly North America's last hope in terms of the upper bracket, and that's going to be a fun match to watch to see. That'll be probably one of their first times facing such a strong team.
Dago, what are you doing? Almost 2 million for just under 400,000 direct. Yeah, okay, Syrian. A little bit under the radar there as we were watching others fly around, others do damage, and the Inferno reset cooking a bit. But yeah, doing more damage than the Inferno, usually a Stego, firing in all the missiles. It was Syrian.
Yeah, you would think in a vacuum that an Aquila versus a Panther, the Aquila would be able to poke down the Panther. But with all the smoke, the haze, the boxes, the defenses that ANUBYSS created in the middle of the map, the Aquila, the shots alone weren't enough, and at least the focus fire from ORCA needed to be stronger. But the Lumine, ANUBYSS are such a well-rounded team. There is no weakness. They were to support each other, and ANUBYSS only ever lost like one member in a fight. They were never really at a weak point. point where they had to lose any real estate that they had.
Yeah, look at that. 2 kills, Kashinma. 2 kills, Super Dopa. 3 for Syrian up there, rather. And yeah, it's the way that they're able to organize themselves, I think, is very, what do I want to say? Very collected, right? It doesn't seem like they're making any errors to go through, and it's going to be Syrian with no errors on his play as well. The Stego comes through with that 2 million damage and defending a lot of the points.
As a Stego enjoyer myself, that means that man was allowed to not move. He got to sit in his turret form and unleash all of